YouTube. Okay, hello. So today we're doing something interesting, at least for me. We are going to implement React Server components with Go. I wanted to do this for for some time, and I just watched this video from Melkey, like how to kind of like start with Go, and I feel this is kind of like a good starting point. I actually used to use Go, so like 2011. I think the last commit was like in 2012. So, and yeah, I think I started with Erlang in like 2008 and with Go at 11. I think that kind of like timeline checks out. I guess I'm starting my own repos apparently. We're not going to go and look at this code. Let's just imagine that it's good. So just to set the thing a bit, I wrote this talk about React Server components, and my thesis there is like, it's not that complicated. It's actually kind of like, if you think about it, the basics of how it works are pretty simple. It's all the kind of like optimizations and stuff that could could make it a lot more complicated. So we're not doing the optimizations. We're just doing the basics. So yeah, by the way, my YouTube at what is it, 600 subscribers right now. If you can subscribe, that could be good. I need 1000 until I start to get like some of the YouTube features. I was also like waiting to be monetized on YouTube, but I think it's not that. I'm probably like halfway or like 1/4 of the way there to be monetized. And yeah, I'm getting more money on Twitter now, so it's actually kind of like doesn't make a difference. But yeah, getting to 1000 subscribers give me like some of the YouTube tools. Okay, so let's start. I'm not going to be kind of like watching the whole video or like reacting to it. I will just kind of like scroll to the parts that are relevant.
Applications.
Sure, Go is awesome. So we're going to start at like, how do I install it? So right now, I guess I need to. Yeah. So if I type Go right now, it's like, hey, it's not installed because I'm using asdf. Oh, someone is in chat. What's happening? You seem to be a bit upset. So asdf is not set. In asdf, I haven't installed Go yet. I don't know if you actually like need asdf for Go, because I don't know why you need like multiple versions of Go, but yeah, just to keep it. You have quit your job. Oh yeah, yeah, I guess like it's just a second on the personal news. August is my last month at Fogbender, and I only knew that since like August 1st. So the idea was to find a job, like any job, just as long as they pay some bills. And in that time, I was able to find kind of like 2 full-time positions, one kind of like contract to hire, in a few things of like, hey, can you contract for us for a bit? And yeah, that was the craziest kind of like that was the craziest job search I ever had. So long story short is that I posted on Twitter like, hey, can someone hire me? And I got a bit of just like random people who are like, I don't know, like from Europe or something like that, that is like, it's not going to work out. But most of them were kind of like fine. Not everything was fitting for what they needed or like what I needed. But there were a couple of just like CTOs or like CEOs, just like kind of like, yeah, we want to hire you. So those went much faster or like much quicker, right? Because it's like, yeah, I want to hire you. It's we just need to go through a bit of like hoops. And yeah, so that was really interesting because usually you're like applying to something or you get recruiters messaging on your like LinkedIn or something like that, and those don't go kind of like as smooth. So is Fogbetter not profitable? So it was never profitable. It's like VC funded startup, so where you just get investments and you spend investors money, and yeah, so hopefully to get the growth and profit and all that stuff. But yeah, who invests? A lot of people. The easy way to say it is just we are part of YC, so the Y Combinator invested in us. Yeah, so just a bit of like stats. I applied to like a few positions, kind of like myself. I was like, okay, maybe I want to work at that company. I applied to a few positions through like LinkedIn and all that stuff. Oh, hey, Nicole. So, like, almost everything that I just like applied, I haven't heard just like even like email of like, hey, we looked at it and we are not interested. So like almost everything that I reached out, I didn't get anywhere. I had few kind of like introductions. So for example, I posted about that on Twitter, so like I feel I feel comfortable talking about it. I tried to get the job at Clark, so I reached out through Dave, which is Dev R. I always mess up his last name. Argwell, something like that. I met him, by the way, at a meetup recently. Uh, so I asked him like, "Hey guys, are you hiring?" And through his kind of like introduction, I talked to Clark. They didn't hire me. They didn't say what like didn't go well with me particularly, but I think they just have a lot of people wanted to work there, and yeah, maybe it's a question of having like more relevant skills or just asking for less pay, right? so so those went kind of like okay. The ones that I had some kind of like introduction or whatever, the ones like without introduction, like I don't get anything. With introduction, I get at least like talking. It's already good. I got a few incoming messages through LinkedIn where I just said, hey, oh yeah, I had to change my title. I used to be VP of engineering. I changed it to senior software engineer, and I started to getting some leads from LinkedIn. Yeah, so few of those who kind of like reached out to me, it was kind of like going somehow. But the fastest ones to go through like all the process, and the fastest ones to like say, hey, we want to hire you, were literally like from people on Twitter like, hey, we want to hire you. And I used to have, I don't know, like 100 Twitter followers. So this is like the first time I could do something like that. Yeah, and it was really cool. Before, did you grind data structures and algo for interviews? Yeah, so I had, yeah, it's an interesting question. So I had one company who said, yeah, we're doing lead code, we're doing something like that, or we're doing like take home. So this was the closest to like you have to do lead code for all the kind of like positions that I was talking about. Yeah, so my GitHub doesn't look too bad. So I have like a few, again, like this one, it only has 200 stars because I did post about it on Twitter. This one is like pretty organic growth. It's my most popular kind of like npm package and all that stuff. This one is Twitter. This one is, yeah, mostly Twitter, and those are my like old ones. This is like from 10 years ago. So yeah, those 10 stars from 10 years ago kind of like worth a lot. So all of this stuff is actually like my thanks. All of this stuff is actually my like private code. So like we are trying to move our from GitLab to GitHub. So it used to be like just like nothing, but this is, yeah, and we don't have like pull requests or something like that on GitHub. So everything is just commits. So this is just like my GitLab contributions through this. So it's a bit of like gaming of the system, right? It's just like my work. This is where I went on a vacation and stuff, right? So I don't have like a super kind of like open source, all of that stuff, GitHub, but I have few kind of like open source projects that like qgp.app and B2B SaaS kits that are, yeah, I can kind of like show them and talk about them. And B2B SaaS kit is not on my private. Maybe I should fork it or something so it shows up on my profile. Yeah, I don't know how that works. So lead code, I was interviewing for like a bigger companies, and what they do is they have kind of like a third party company that they just like pay to screen people. And at one of the companies, the screening was using Karat, like this thing, and it's just, they basically like pay them to do 1 hour kind of like lead code style thing, and you get, I don't know, like a pass or or fail from them. And one other company was doing something similar like that. It wasn't without like a, yeah, there was no like real person watching over me. It was just like screen capture or something like that. So I was doing kind of like lead code stuff through that, and it wasn't like too crazy of the lead code. I was able to find like some of those problems or whatever on lead code, or like, hey, this is like what Facebook gives out, all that stuff. So they were really the easy level of just like the simplest one. Like I didn't have like any binary trees or whatnot. So it was yeah, the craziest data structure were like arrays and hash maps, right? So just really simple stuff, just for this kind of screening, right? So just to see if you're actually like know how to touch a computer. And yeah, some of them just did kind of like take homes. No link to lists, no trees, like no, just the simplest kind of like JavaScript stuff, because I was looking for JavaScript jobs. So if I was going for C++, that's obviously kind of like a different thing, or maybe in Java. I don't know what they do in Java nowadays. So there were a lot of there were a lot of talking. Yeah, so the front end ones moved quicker. So I have a few like Elixir and all those things, and I didn't do I didn't do anything technical in those. So like one of the companies I haven't even like go through like initial just like talking to the recruiter. So it's, yeah, just like not moving fast enough, and I don't know what's going to happen kind of like there. There were like few full stack with like JavaScript on the backend things, and there it's it was more about like system design. How would you create like this, I don't know, like email notification thing, and all that stuff. Yeah, so a lot of just like talking, a lot of just like, hey, what did you do before? Well, can you describe your like previous project and all that stuff? Talking about like some of my open source stuff, because some people kind of like looked into some of my projects, and yeah, more talking, less less kind of like that technical stuff. The only yeah, so I think the only lead code stuff that I was doing was that through that screening, there was just one company who was doing that, like, hey, let's live code some stuff in this like completely broken like live editor. Yeah, and it's funny that uh, it's funny that like in the rejection letter that they sent, it's like we're only we are making sure that the people who kind of like go through our thing are whatever the thing was. I'm like tempted just like to just find it and to quote it. let me let me just move it to the other screen. It was like later in the interview process, so I was already kind of like not. I already didn't want to work there. So I wasn't upset. So it was like more funny to me. Yeah. So our our interview team is required to reach a very high level of conviction that any candidate we interview will be set up for success at the name of the company. So it's like we make sure that the people that we hire are exactly the same people that we already have, and it's like, and they have already kind of like pretty bad people. So it's like they're cutting from the bottom and from the top, because like people who kind of like know how to code are not going to be set up for success at that company. So that was funny for me. To get a job right now, what do you recommend to do? Like open source contribution in your Twitter? Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. As I said, like all this stuff that when I reached out, I didn't get anywhere, and that's like for someone who was coding for like 15 years, right? It's not 4 months. So it is crazy, and the thing is that it's hard for jobs to find someone who they can kind of like trust. So this yeah, so to have some kind of like reputation online really helps, because they're like, oh, they probably know what they're talking about, they probably can skip some of that kind of like screening, all that stuff, which again I had to do for like those bigger companies, no matter how, I don't know, like hiring manager wants you to hire, you still have to jump through all of the hoops. So yeah. So it was crazy. Uh, it was crazy that I was able to find a job in this kind of like narrow time frame, but I can only attribute it to like thousands of Twitter followers, some open source stuff, and some like kind of like publishing my stuff and all that stuff to build somehow kind of like a reputation of person who knows what they're doing. And yeah, and just like people reaching out directly, because I think they're just like overwhelmed, like all the other companies, that they just like have kind of like too much stuff. And there is like a few companies in like Salt Lake, they're like, oh, we're just like hiring like, I don't know, like a lot of developers all at the same time. And because they're limited to like one location, I think it's like a bit easier for them. Most of the companies are hiring remote, right? And like I was looking for a remote job, so they have, I don't know, like probably thousands of people who are like reaching out to them. And like, how do you stand out from the crowd? And I have no idea. For someone who's just starting out, it's really not clear what you have to do. One way of just like invest into doing some like free stuff, but how do you know which one will work out? So I don't really have like a really good answer, and all of my kind of like previous advice does not work as well. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the thing. I think we spent like a 20 minutes of like introductions. I wanna get my hands dirty. I wanna like start writing some Go. So the so I don't have a good advice for you. I wish I had. I think you need to find some personal connection, right? You need to find some company and like, okay, what do I do to get working there? It's not just like, I think all the previous things don't work. And I think even like not, I don't think open source is that easily discoverable. I think it's more of the question of being kind of like seen in a community. And for that thing, I would even say it's easier to be noticed if you are like in Solid or Svelte or something like smaller than if you're like one of the millions of React developers who is doing some open source stuff. I don't know if that kind of like makes sense. I don't have a computer science degree. I have a physics degree, and yeah, just for work visas and stuff, you have to have some kind of like higher education. So yeah, it wasn't like easy to get work visa and stuff with like my physics degree, but somehow I managed it. Okay, so we're going to do we're going to try asdf route, and I'm just going to say asdf install Go, and I will try the AI stuff. You mean to do Svelte because not much people? Yeah, so my first job was like in Erlang. The problem with Erlang is that everyone is hiring people who have 10 years of Erlang experience. But because there are like just like no Erlang developers, some of the companies have to hire someone who is just starting. So this was basically like my formula. Yeah, Erlang is really old. Erlang is Erlang state. Erlang is from like 86. So like in 1990, I think they like open sourced it or something like that. So it's a language that existed for like 30 years. And when 10 years ago I was looking for a job, everyone was looking for people with 10 years of experience. So now they're probably looking for people with 20 years of experience. Okay, so we're installing Go plugin in asdf, and we're installing latest Go through that plugin. So it doesn't matter how many people are like using it. It's more about can you be popular in that smaller community, because it's like if you are like how many solid.js people can you name? How many astro.js people can you name? It's like I don't know, like 5. And how many React people can you name? It's like 5,000. So it's easier to be number 6 in Solid or Astro than it is to be number 6 in React. You don't have to be number 6 in React, but this is something that I would kind of like really look into it. Okay, so we installed Go, not completely. I guess we need to activate it somehow. I don't remember how to use asdf. That's my problem. So we can install plugin, and then you need to okay. This is like much more complicated than I would have assumed. Yeah. Okay. So I think I have this. Yeah, global. Okay. So it's global. Global. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So don't trust Google AI. It doesn't know what's doing. Okay. Interesting. If you happen to use SSH, okay. I don't think I need that yet. So installed Go. It wasn't too complicated, right? So I already had asdf. I added Go plugin. I installed Go, and I switched to it as I switched to like the latest version. So now we're going to start the project. Okay, I don't remember where he starts it. Yeah, here. So go mode init. Okay. So go mode init, github.com/jlrk, go react server components. Okay, not it. Git go. Okay, I think my muscle memory just like kicks in. Yeah, was that fast? Apparently in PM stuff, I was just sure that it's just an error. Did it actually work? Okay, I think I shouldn't have created it as a capital letter. Oh no. I think I did it. Yeah, I should have created project first. Okay. Okay, this is going to be silly, but I'm not going to fix that. I'm going to GitHub repo new, create a new repository from scratch, push existing. Yeah, I guess I can just push existing. Okay, so we want to do, yeah, we want to create this as a folder. We want to go to that folder. And now we do that init stuff. Is that it? Go mod init.
Now this is super important because this is how you're going to actually import everything from your internal or package.
Okay, don't understand how it works. I was thinking it will create more stuff. Okay, so he creates everything manually. So let's create everything. So bean, cmd, this, internal. Yeah, I guess there could be a util that does that. Also makefile. Why do you need makefile? Does he do anything with makefile? He does go around. How many users can Netlify or self-free tier handle? We used Netlify free tier for probably like 3 years at Fogbender. And yeah, we only used like static files and all that stuff. So it's probably enough. As long as you have paid users, you just start paying. That's shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so if I do go run this, okay, so now I do this main.go. Okay, and I write package main. Huh. I guess func main. Okay, my autocomplete doesn't work. Okay, it works now. Okay. Package is not in standard. Is that what that go mod does? This is like so. This is so complicated for no reason. So at Fogbender we use qgp.app, which is I don't remember which template in particular. I think QGP demo is like for this website. But we also have, yeah, I think this is like the best template to try out. And this is going to be like pretty close to to what we had at Fogbender over the years. But yeah, it's completely static. Like we do everything on Elixir on the backend. Yeah, it's all client side. So the static parts, so like if you go like here or like the blog, this is all done through Astro. But once you go to like login, I guess like sign up. Yeah, I'm not logged in. Yeah, so this is a React app. So if I turn off my JavaScript, it's going to be an empty page. Okay. So this is already more complicated than I wanted to do. I don't like the I don't like the error message. This error message doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, this is slightly better. Yeah, so if I do format hello world, it's going to complain about, yeah, not imported format. So import format. Yay, I did my hello world in Go. It only took like 35 minutes. How do you do routing? Yeah, we use React Router. It's probably like a bit like older version right now, but I think it's at least 6 or maybe like 6.4. I really recommend B2B SaaS Kit. This is like the way that we would have. This is more kind of like advanced thing. It has a backend in Node as well. I don't know if it's Node. It's like Vercel serverless, but we don't use JavaScript on the backend at FogBlender. But this is kind of like what we would have used if we had it, and yeah, it also kind of like includes stuff that we use at FogBlender. So this page is completely static. If you go to process friends, it's like setup. So this is kind of like similar to our blog, for example. It uses like content collections, and this is a client-only application, so it will not work without JavaScript. So this is kind of like B2B SaaS case you made. Yeah. So I did most of the thing, and our CEO helped me with like docs and some product stuff. But this was kind of like experiment of like how would it look like. So I wanted to try this library. A lot of people said that this is like the best the best library for Go in terms of like APIs. So we got our hello world. We want to do our our kind of like hello world, but with this thing. So they have examples, I guess. Oh, is that it? Is it really it? I guess let's start committing stuff. I will not have the git ignore file. This is slightly bad. What about Gin? What is Gin? HTTP framework. Okay. 71 stars. And this is 15 stars. Okay. Maybe this one is newer. Don't know where to look for 400 contributors. Like 120. I guess. So this one is kind of like a smaller project. Okay. I'm not going to figure out all the differences about frameworks. I'm just going to pick whatever. But yeah, thank you. If this one doesn't work out, I will do something like that. Okay, so what about git ignore? Huh. They don't care about git ignore and Go, it seems. This is funny. Okay, so git add, git commit. Hello world. Okay, so now are you going to use Node runtime to execute React code? I thought about it, and I think the answer is not yet. I don't know if that's a good answer, but this is what I'm going for. So pushing this thing into GLRK, let's go and create React server component. Yeah, hi. I think like no one can see you on the screen because how I made it, but yeah, it's like YouTube chat. I don't know how to put it on the screen yet. Yes, yes. Okay. Or is it view? Okay, I don't have readme yet, which is fine. And I still don't know what this does, but hopefully something important. Oh yeah, I think I have something on the screen. I just don't know. Yeah, I tried to like do stream elements for YouTube chat, but it's kind of like black on a black background, so it's not really visible, and I haven't figured out how to fix it. Okay, so this is kind of like good enough. So now we're going for that hello world example, and I will just do this, I guess. It's probably time to start doing vscode. Okay, so we do this, and run this, and go get. Okay, this is actually like nice error messages. Okay, I'm assuming it started. It just didn't say anything, and it says hello world 123. Okay, so how do I Golang live reload G air? Okay, I heard about air. Installation binary or install in bin. Yeah, go install or docker and usage. Okay, you have to create some kind of config. Okay, I feel like we should do that anyway. Okay, so let's start. So let's say that started developing using Gin. Okay, do they have anything? Do they have anything about like live reloading? Live? No. Okay. Yeah. So install into binary or install into path. Okay. Now I'll show you how it works. If you want to config build a command, you can use the following command without the config file. Okay. 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 This one feels right for some reason. Okay. So now can I do this command? Not really, because they said I should alias first. Interesting. It was installed in bean air, not in .air. Okay, so what if it's bean air? Okay, still doesn't work. Okay, it's not, doesn't sound good so far. Hmm. Oh, it sounds it does it locally. Oh. Oh. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay. Sounds better and worse at the same time. Okay, so let's try this. Yeah, so I have a question about sending emails. So I tried to use some kind of like free email service. Was it like MailJet or something? MailJet, SendGrid, MailJet, Mail something. There was some other ones. Yeah, I don't remember. There are like free services that can send emails, but they will have a lot of limitations. And um, yeah, usually you would have to pay for services for email because email is just yeah, it's not delivered very well. Okay, so this is like a global installation. Oh no. Okay, I need to add alias. Okay, where did it install it at? Yeah, this is not the smoothest. This is definitely not the smoothest thing. Okay, so whatever the go path is. Okay. Bin air. Okay. So I will do this. Okay. And let's I have this thing about being able to run it without config. So go build command run build binary. Okay. This doesn't make too much sense to me, but okay. So they're using build instead of run. Can I use run? No, they're doing build for some reason. Why would they do build? Okay, so I want to build the, I guess it's like main. CMD main. Okay, but mine is CMD. Okay, it's interesting that the folder structure that Melkey gave in his video doesn't match with all the stuff that I see in docs. I don't know if that's like, is Melkey overcomplicating it, or are those people in readmes are oversimplifying it? But okay, so let's see. Hello world 123. Hello world 12. Hello world. Okay, yeah, it's not the best. Not the best. Yeah, compared to JavaScript, they have it figured out. It feels like, yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's start here. So let's start with like format, yeah, something like this. Right, so now the build is going to crash. You want to install Go? Yes, let's install Go. Okay, the Go outline command, Go PLS command. What is Go PLS? Language server. Okay, that sounds good. What is Go outline? It's some kind of tool for JSON. Well, we don't need it yet, probably, but let's say that. Okay, so now it's the red squiggly, and I can import it. Yay! And does it output anything? No, it's not. Why is that? Yeah, I wonder if that's like a blocking command. Yeah, it's probably like an, yeah. Server starting on. Okay. How do I turn it off? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Okay. Yeah. Let's say that this is what we were going for. So now let's look at yeah, so I want to do like his structure as he was like talking about it. Yeah.
In our routes.
Yeah, so he creates like routes. Journal routes. Package routes. And how does he, okay, I guess it's like auto exported, imported, all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. So let's start with that. So let's create internal. Inside of internal, we create routes. Inside of routes, we create routes that go. So now we called it package routes. And we create a new router and we return it. Okay, so this is the router. Okay, so let me just copy everything. So it doesn't have package. So the function is now new router. And this is what it returns. Don't know what it returns. Right? I guess, does it have to return it? Yeah, we'll figure it out. So we create a new router, and instead of doing this, we just return router. Okay. I don't know if it compiled. Yeah, so many return values. Yeah. Delete return value. Okay. Oh yeah. I guess let's fix using compiled. Yeah. This makes sense. Okay. I think it messed up a bit. Yeah. I like seeing red squigglies. I probably tried Go last time in like Emacs or something, So I didn't see any red squigglies. Yeah, so now instead of G next router, we are doing router next route, new route. Yeah. Okay, how do we import it? How do we import it here? Routes. Routes. Okay, so it's routes here. It's routes here. Interesting. So route this. Okay. So we can remove everything now. Yeah, it's funny that it fixes it on save. This is really cool. Okay, so do we get do we get our hello world? Yes. Can we change it? Also yes, but after some delay. Okay. It's not great, not bad so far. So let's go back to, yeah, so his thing added internal as well. Okay. I guess I missed that. I was under the impression that it can do it kind of like automatically. But yeah, I mean, semi-automatically. vscode did that. So we're going to say that all of this is, oh, what's happening here? Require. Okay, is that because we did it go install? Okay, some builders, some go some. Okay, this is this is crazy. But okay, so yeah, we don't need this one anymore. We installed it globally. And this is dependencies. Okay, so go hello world API. Okay, so this is the time when we have to do a bit of README. And the idea is that, hi, run. And this is what we have to do. Yeah. 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 Okay. So now that we have that, let's figure out how we can uh, how we can return something more interesting. So here's my slides, and I also have like demos. And even if we go to like the most complicated demo, it's actually like not that crazy. So I need to figure out how to return like HTML just document, right? And custom handler method, file server. File server sounds good. Versions. Okay, let's start with file server. How to serve static files from your file system. Okay. So get right router. Okay, file server. Okay, that's an internal thing. And it implements get. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so what's graceful? Is just checking more errors, or what's the difference? with cancel. Okay. Oh, yeah, we didn't need any of that. Okay, so custom handler. What's not custom about this one? I guess it's like inline, and this is just so you can write types for it. Yeah, so custom handler sounds fine. Let's do that. Okay. Where do we get handler? It's the type. Okay, still not happy. Cannot use. Okay. Is it just kind of like out of sync or? Okay, let's just put the whole thing together and see if it works. Okay, it does. It does work. Why it doesn't work here? Hmm. Hmm. I wonder if those are just conflicting or something. Or maybe those. Also no. Okay. Okay. So. Oh, I see. I see. So this type handler, it also need to have this method. And I just didn't copy it. Okay. So let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't. Why doesn't it work? Package run. What is run? Okay. I was just running the wrong command. Okay, so we have foo, and we can change it to bar. Okay. So far, I can kind of understand what's happening. So we used to have hello world. Okay, we still do have it. I guess I need to remove it now. So if I do just get this, will it still work? No. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay. So now, how do I return HTML? Because I didn't see any HTMLs here. I haven't even seen JSON, to be honest. So custom method. Link only. Okay, this is too crazy for us. File server graceful limits. Okay, limits is probably some kind of like middleware stuff. Group seconds throttled. Yeah, we didn't need that. A logging rest. Okay. So main starts at. Okay, this is kind of like sufficiently complicated. So maybe that's the best example they have. So router walk. replace print walk being. Okay, I don't want to think what this is. Sounds like binary tree, but with Rest arrays. So this example demonstrates a project that defines subrouter on a struct. Yeah, so at this particular moment, I'm just trying to output some kind of HTML, and all of the examples are just like hello world. I need like headers, I need maybe like reading from files and all that stuff. Versions. Oh, what does that mean? API version context. Okay, let's ignore that. And the example demonstrates inside subroutes parent, C rest for those parent. Okay, so we have users. Interesting, it's mount, so it's like add more stuff, and users. I guess it like takes a router and returns a router. No, it takes a user resource. What does user resource do? It's just some kind of context, I guess. List or something. Yeah, it sounds like CRUD operations. Don't really care about that. Okay, so let's start with REST and let's try to. Interesting. What does that JSON do? Huh. It's a generated doc. Interesting. Okay, so what is Go mod? Doc gen. Okay. So client request doesn't say anything about. Okay, do we have HTML somewhere here? No. Okay. Time to look for a gene, I guess. I don't know what's happening. So go g return HTML. Start here. Template support provided by template. There's one of those. Believe router middleware includes them. I'm using unroll render because template helpers. Jet handlebars. Okay, this is complicated. Jet template is blah blah blah. Powerful. Built-ins. Examples. Okay, examples. To dos. Okay, so they're using just standard thing with a handle function. So it gets template and it gets URL queries and executes a view with some data. Okay. So this doesn't sound too crazy. Okay. Yeah, haven't seen that syntax in a while. And we actually would have to invent our own syntax to do it for real. So I don't want to use any templating yet, but let's keep that in mind. Okay, so I want to go to that file route and just understand how like all of this works. So our data should have just like nodes.txt, and this is what we wanna do. So let's create I guess inside of internals, let's create just index.html. Is that too crazy? And we are just going to put this file there because I already know that it works, right? So I just need to send this file, and we can start again. It works. And now let's go read through file route. So when we are opening files, we want to do file server. So file server does not permit URL parameters. Okay. I don't know what that means. So path could be slash, and then we add slash on the end. Okay, that seems not important. But then we do path, strip prefix, and serve W, which is probably right. It's right of what exactly? Oh, of here, response writer. And R is request, serve HTTP. Okay, so files by themselves. Okay, so they have file server. Interesting. So HTTP has a file server. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure this is what I want here, but okay. Actually, let's commit this first. And it's going to be custom handler. Okay, so let's just say go read a file into buffer. Okay, portos and buffer. Open my file. Close file. Read the buffer. New reader. Yeah, this is fine. Sounds fine. I'm not sure about like the dependencies. Hopefully that works. But yeah. So okay, didn't format it for okay. So we open file index.html. Not sure how we're supposed to handle errors. Yeah, because this one expects yeah. Okay. We should be returning something else, but I'm just testing. Just making sure that it like compiles. Okay, interesting. So we got some kind of wait page, but I think everything seemed to be really empty. Yeah, I wonder if that's our. Okay, how do we handle errors? Yeah, so if the error is not nil, yeah, so we should just return error. That's what we should be doing. Bad. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That means that we have an error. So now that we have an error, how do we debug what the error is? Because here it's just like, hey, I returned 503. So where's our bad thing? Okay, it's here. So log the error println error. Okay, start with that. No such file or directory. Okay, this is nice. uh, so this file index.html, it's in this folder. Okay. Oh, it's open. Okay, so our problem is that Golang OS open, yeah, relative path, something like that. Absolute interesting. Yeah, so what is our current path? It's um, it's this folder where I run my command. So if I create folder, I don't know, data, and move my index.html there, then if I read data slash index.html, maybe it will work. Ooh, yeah, I think it did. Okay, so we have this buffer. We should be able to just write buffer. Yep. Not the whole thing though. Interesting. I didn't read the whole thing. Okay, because we have some value here. Yeah, okay. So what do we do? So we can skip the buffer because we have a reader. Yeah, so let's just send the file to the client. Okay, scanner. Okay, I didn't understand what happened, but I'm just going to assume that it works. Okay, there's some syntax errors. Yeah, it adds some strange stuff. Okay. Yeah. So what's happening here? Yeah, because of the comments, yeah, it skips the. Okay, so let's remove buffer IO stuff. Uh, okay. Okay. Okay, this is better, but not great. Okay. Sure, what's happening? Oh, I think it worked. Okay. Yay. Um, yeah, this is not what I want, but this is something that we can do. Um, so if I just remove everything, it should still continue to work. But now, what if my file path is wrong? 404. Okay. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great either. Okay. So let's do this. Yeah. Serve a static file. Should have added this as well. Okay. Okay. So now the kind of like the meat of this thing. What Google has AI for search now? Yeah. So you can do like Gelarchy Twitter, and it will say you what it thinks about my tweets. So Gelarchy joined in July 2017. Think of that what you will. Because Twitter thinks that I joined in 2009. So close enough, plus or minus 10 years. He doesn't hate React. He was rejected by Clerk and so on. So it's a fine thing. And you can even like talk about it. And why doesn't he hate React? Gelarchy, however, not React hater, like React. Yeah, so React or components Twitter. What does that mean? I have a nuance to you. Okay. Yes. So I think this is like no longer in my context. But it works faster than Bing. It's only kind of like half of the time wrong. So, and it's really easy to access. It's just like one kind of like button away. So yeah, I used it a few times. Okay, so now the crazy part. Now we are finally like 1 hour and 20 minutes in. Now we're finally doing the crazy part. So the how am I going to do the crazy part? So I'm going to start with something like this. So in can I do something like JSX in Golang? JSX for Go. Okay, so it looks like that, which is, I'm surprised that they can do that syntax. To have safety, co-parsing, IST. Okay, so it has to be in a GoX file. Interesting. Also, some kind of WASM stuff. Okay. Use convert files to Go. Okay. This is close, but not completely what I want. I want something JSX light. JSX like. Yeah, so something like JSX element. This is closer to what I'm thinking. There is JSX package. Okay. React JSX without Node. Okay. Okay. Don't like those docs, to be honest. Okay. Converts React.js code into JavaScript with a... Oh, I see. So this is just like a Go implementation. I see. This is not what we're looking again, but it's nice that they have something like that. Yeah, so let's use whatever that is, if that's even like a real thing. Package set with React building user interfaces. Okay. Interesting. This could be interesting. Okay. So we were looking for JSX. Okay, I'll start with React, I guess. Package. Okay. Yeah, docs are not the best so far. You can create React-based web apps, write components, and create skeleton app. Examples. Okay. So, hello world. Okay, I was looking for a source code. Templates. Okay. No, again, not it. Each site. Okay. Hello world. Main go. So get element by ID. Oh wow. This is definitely. This is like a compiler. This is like nitrogen. Okay. So you write JSX. Wow. What is it compile into? Uh, yeah, this is probably like the whole React. So go for JS React. Yeah. Okay. So it's a render function. It returns J. Wow, this is too much. Okay. Okay, so let's start looking into other things. Okay, so maybe I don't need JSX. I wonder how else I can so Golang build HTML with functions, somehow like that. Using functions, writing. Yeah, they don't know what I mean. Type safe HTML. Okay, will that be? Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so simplicity and sure doesn't provide safety pipelines and produce errors and all that stuff. Yeah, Blaze HTML. Okay. Okay, so Golang, Blaze HTML. Okay. Okay, this doesn't sound interesting. Okay, so let's look at this one. So overall, this is really close to what I'm going for. Yeah, I can do script tag, and it will output it like that. Yeah. So why did it didn't say the name? Now I don't know who that was. Whoever that was, thank you. Dev Insight Academy. Okay, I see it now. So this is the thing. What I'm thinking about is that I want to have okay, so this is going to be I don't know, index HTML, but for a new one, I'm going to create a second file. So this is going to be I don't know, static handler, and this one is going to be RSC handler. So we're going to start from. Still don't know what all this does, but we're going to start with write hello world, and we want to have some kind of builder. So what this thing is doing. So let's say I have a div, and where is this div kind of like comes from? So it comes from something like this. So text. I guess text is a good example. So text is calling HTML function, and is it calling function? Yes, it's returning HTML. Okay, so it does call a function. Okay, produce HTML from plain text by escaping. Yeah, so I want to do something like this. I don't know how scope works. so here it waits for HTML. And is that just type HTML? Yes. So it also does HTML template. Yeah, so there is escape string. So now if I do text this, does it still work? Yes, it added a new line. I'm not sure why, but we will keep with that. And if I okay, so I can have a write to function. Do they actually use that? I guess they just pass a page. Okay, write to writer using HTML. Okay. Yeah. So what is going to happen if I do print this and do this? Okay, I think it built. And it even worked. Okay. I don't know if I should be surprised or not, but so attributes, all that stuff. So right now we are turning this thing into a string. I wonder if I should be turning it into something else. Yeah. And how do I do that? Okay. Because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, so what's happening if I'm like passing an array or something? Will it even work? Yeah, it doesn't compile. Okay. So tag, yeah, because it has like any type here. I was wondering what that means. Okay, so let's try to figure out. We have a bit of like basics how everything works. I still feel like I need to figure out template stuff. So for template, this is what they do for arguments. They do arguments. They use template for arguments. And for not standard elements, I guess. They also do indent, which is a funny how do I say it? It's like a funny issue to solve. Like, do you actually need that? But hey, maybe sometimes you do. So HTML5 is the start of the thing. And what is this index? Generated elements. Oh, interesting. Do they use some kind of templating to generate that Go code? Okay. Okay. So JavaScript data, JavaScript script, enable logging. Huh. Okay, a lot of stuff is happening here. So doc type and doc type HTML. Okay. So I'm not sure how much of that stuff we actually need. So here is the thing that I want to make. I didn't need all of this. I need just a tiny amount of this. So let's figure out how to use Golang HTML template. Yeah, let's figure out how to use HTML template, and it could be good for us. So if I create a new template and I can replace values. I don't know why I'm doing define and end. This sounds like a bit crazy. Package understands blah blah blah. It adds initializing function. Okay. At parse time, each is overridden to add escaping. In this case, it's URL escape, attribute escape, and HTML escape. Okay, so all of this sounds good. So let's try to create the template out of this. So we're going to call it index dot, I don't know, TPL or something. Do they have that? Oh, I can also inline it. Interesting. I haven't even thought about it. It's not that bad of an idea. Okay, so if I do TPL and if it's, yeah, let's just start with this. We have a template. I can try to render that template. If I have an error, I will return an error. And define TPL. Okay, oh yeah, const. Is it const? Why is it const? I didn't know Go can do that. Yeah, because all the other stuff. Oh, I guess we already had it in scope. This is the first time we're creating. Oh, totally forgot about that. Okay, so we can parse that template and we can execute that template. Okay. And again, if there's an error, you should. Okay, why is it standard out? Okay, that's for debugging, right? So here we should do right. Okay. Okay, my photos, my blogs, all that stuff. Okay. This is fun. Sonoro. Yeah. So we don't need this anymore. We do need kind of like all of that. And so we have all of this. We can just close a script tag for now. And so instead of this hello, so we have title items. So this is how you do title. So let's do title. And let's add title here to hello. And let's get rid of everything else. Except that we need body and yeah, I guess it doesn't style it inside of the thing. Okay, so still. So my page is now my page, and we're saying hello, my page. Okay. So we don't have items anymore. Still works. And I'm not going to go into like ES build and stuff. So we're going to kind of like just inline stuff. So what I want is I want to render something. So my thinking is that where we have hydrate root, it was from my slides. So I have a slide 11. I think that's the one that I need. So instead of hydrate root, it's going to be create root. And where do we create root? Yeah, like this. Oh yeah, it's the whole document. I don't need the whole document. I need, well, later on I need the whole document, so maybe it's okay to do it like that. Yeah, it doesn't format inside. Okay. Yeah, so now so now because I didn't define client router, it will crash. But I can. So it's going to be just console log and return main div. What's the syntax? Children. Hello. Okay. We close that router. Save and refresh. And children should be an array. Div cannot appear as a child of document. Okay. Div cannot appear as a child of document. What am I going to do with that? I will do document.body. Okay, so hello world from template title. Yeah. Okay. How much time do I have left? Not much. Okay. So what have we learned today? We created a Go server that does something. And what is happening right now is that this title, so right now it says my page, but let's say plus current time in milliseconds. Okay, this doesn't sound good at all. Okay. Okay. I think it just doesn't understand what's going on. Yeah, but the idea is that we can generate some data in Go and pass it to the page. So the thing that we want to get from this is kind of the following. So where's my HTML stuff? Yeah, so this HTML. I'm not using it yet. Okay, so if I can if I can create the structure, um, I need to create a thing. So HTML is a string right now, but I need it to be how would I describe what I'm doing? So let's first create the kind of like virtual virtual DOM, kind of like virtual server components. So how do I do structs? So I need something like so I have a person, it can have a name and an age. So if we're talking about like a JSX function, it should have been in my slides. Not the demo, but maybe slide 7, slide 6. Yeah. So we could have this kind of thing. So we could say that type is a string and props is, okay, let's say interface. I don't know what it is. Okay, type can be a string. So tag type. Okay, so it's not person, it's let's say component. I don't know what kind of component that is yet. So now let's say that we have a page that is a component that starts with let's say a div, then it has an ID root. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Expected declaration. Is that how you write it? Oh, it shouldn't be. It should be inside of the function first of all. Basically, so can I have just used this? Yeah, I guess I could. Interesting. I didn't know they have const, so I'm so confused. So I have this page. So I want to convert this page to two types of strings. Okay, so Golang convert struct to JSON manually, something like that. Marshall method. Okay, interesting. Okay. But how do I convert? How do I define my own thing? So I have a user and I just marshal it. It's not the end of the world if I have to do it this way, but okay. So if I have a component, tag type. Okay, so if I do JSON tag type and JSON props. Need to import JSON. It will probably not figure it out by itself. Expected. Interesting. Is it like a comment? Yes, it is a comment. Okay, so now let's try to marshal it. Yeah, I got a comment from I'm using Veeam. I'm just using it inside of the vscode. So dd. Oops. Oh, I lost it. I was going to cut it, but yeah, just the emotions. So if I have a page, thanks. So I have this JSON data. So how do I put it there? So I could just say that I have JSON data string, and I can put it like that. Why do I call string on it? Isn't it already a string? It's a byte. Can this be a byte then? Byte. Okay. And let's just do console log JSON data. Okay. Yeah, so this is my the Privacy had this like chat stack where he was doing COBOL and like Haskell, and I'm doing JavaScript and Go, which is not as crazy, but still fun. Okay, so turn it into a string, and what happened after that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so okay, so if I do just print the data just to see what gets out. Okay, it's empty string. Okay, so it wasn't able to marshal it for some reason. The struct is not exported. Okay, I see. So tag and props. So now if I do it here, tag name div props such and such, and in source code, yeah, it's just a bunch of bytes. Okay, we tried. We tested it and we tried and it doesn't work. Okay, so this is crazy. I wonder why they do that. Okay, so console. Okay, so it printed it out as a string. So now if I JSON parse it, it turns it into the thing. So now I need to have some kind of like conversion to JSX, and yeah, I have to write a function for that. So this is going to be not great, but let's do it anyway. So we have this. So we have this just as an object, and um, so if I do JSX tag, I do x dot tag type. So this is going to be a div. Then I do props. Okay, and then what is our page? Okay, it has ID, but it doesn't have a text yet. So we do yeah, something like this. Okay. So now the crazy part. So now that I have all of this stuff, so when I have a client router, I'm going to render page. Need to move this higher. Okay, it was worth a try. So if I do something like this, okay. Okay, so it says hello world. Where does it get hello world? It gets it from here. So, okay. So if I do hello world, okay. I'm so close. So this is what we wanna. This is what we wanna put here. Yeah. So my page, whatever the thing is, and now. Okay. So what's happening here is that we have a way to turn some data from Go into client React code. What we're missing is a way to render that in HTML as well. That's why it's like jumping up and down. And if we have hydrate root here, yeah, I guess let me do the other thing first. So what we do here is kind of like the wrong thing. We should just put like a raw HTML here, and let's just search for raw. Okay, didn't have on escaped or something. Escaping is contextual. Yeah, but how do I pass HTML? Golang HTML template pass HTML. Blah blah blah. Template HTML dot HTML. Should pass the value as template HTML, not a string. Okay. So if I have a value here that is not JSON data but HTML string, I can do something like this. and HTML. Okay, let's just see if that works. Okay, and if it's like bold. Okay, so now if I have this, so I can turn it into JSON, but I also need to turn it into a string. And the way that I'm going to do that is kind of like similar to what they were doing in this templating thing. Where is it? Yeah, HTML Go. So like div, do they have a div there? I think it's like doing something like this. So it's doing element. Yeah. So it's doing build element. So it creates a template. Dev. What is devs? Yeah, I don't know. So tag, temple, plus content, and closing tag. Okay. So I'm not going to do all of this stuff. I'm going to do, or do I? Yeah, I'm not sure how it's. Okay, let's try to do it at least. So the point that we want to do, oh, could be an error again. Okay, so let's, yeah, so we have a Marshall thing. So this is our JSON data, but we only want to have HTML data, HTML string, I guess. How was it? How did I name it? HTML string. Yeah. So we can do it. So HTML string TPL. So the template is going to be. So the template is going to be kind of like something like this. Props and detective. Okay, let's just see if that kind of makes any sense. So it's not going to be a T, it's going to be HTML string. So it's going to pick up a template new. Okay, so if error, then return error. Then I need to execute it with what do I execute it? I guess this page. If it's an error, return an error. If not, we take this HTML string and pass it here. Okay, doesn't type doesn't match. Cannot convert template to string, I guess. Okay, I think I'm doing execute wrong. So execute. Okay, execute has to write to something. Okay, so I don't want to write to the page. I want to write to okay. Yeah, so this buffer stuff. So so create a buffer and then I execute to buffer. Then I do buff.string. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't make any sense. HTML string. Yeah. 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 So this is HTML string buffer, and this is HTML string template or something. Yeah. So buffer. Okay. So hopefully that's going to work. Okay. So it didn't make the tag work. Okay, so yeah, it's too smart. It's too smart for its own good. How did they do it here? Okay, lost. Where was I? Yeah, here. So they do create a template, but the template is, where's the kind of like the template part? So attribute content. Okay, so they do content. Yeah, so so this part, I need to create like a function that is going to be doing all this stuff. So I don't, yeah, so I do, okay, so template only contains the props children, I guess. So it's div id root and dot. So this is not going to work either. Yeah, because it's a map. So it has to be props dot children.
Oodster is now following.
Hi. did I get it right? Who done it? Who've done it? Who did rate me? Yeah. Where's my dashboard? Oh, Melkey.
Melkey raided my stream with 178 viewers.
Yeah, that's the other Go streamer.
8bits out is now following.
Yeah, thank you for the follows.
Loki Abu is now following.
Yeah, battery is very low. I think I will finish before it dies, but there's
Click
always
is
a
now
chance.
following.
Okay, so you guys are... Okay, I need
Chillaxathor is now following.
to make it a bit quieter. So what I'm doing right now, except for the part where my battery has died. Yeah, so I'm doing both. This is my way to... Yeah. Thank you again for the rate. That's really cool. So this is my crazy thing that I'm doing. Is that I created this div, right? So it's just like a component, and this component has, let's say, ID root and some text. So now I'm trying to save this data or whatever, like this object, into two forms. So one form is JSON and the other form is HTML. So you should think about this as kind of like virtual DOM, and potentially, right? So it should be like a function that returns that virtual DOM. So I haven't got to that part yet. So I have this virtual DOM, and now I can render that virtual DOM to HTML, and I can also render that virtual DOM to JSON. So I pick up this JSON, I turn it into the format that React like knows how to pick up, and I'm doing create root right now, but if I wasn't running out of the battery, I would have used hydrate root, and I can probably do that. So it goes to the server and comes back. Yes, so I'm writing React server components in Golang. This is exactly the point. So because this thing, this is some kind of function that can only run in Go. Whatever this request ID is, or like whatever that thing is happening, it can only happen in Go. But because I can render it to HTML and I can render it to React components, that means that if I want to like refetch it from React, as long as I like write the one more API that returns just JSON without HTML, I will have React server components. Yeah. So I'm going to finish this stream because I'm running out of battery and I have to run. But I will mention just like the kind of like the method to this madness. Oh, not bud. So I first kind of like started thinking about it when I when I heard about this project. So this is project that does something similar to this, but they use Svelte instead of React, and it's more like loaders. So it's not like server components, but it's a really similar idea. I don't know if they have like examples. Basic, okay, basic. That seems like my level. Create show, yeah. So you have some kind of like MVC structure to the stuff, and it returns like a post from Go, but then you can like server render it and show it to users. Go drain my battery. Yeah, I think that's fair. Other people said that that's because I'm using VSCode. I should have done all of this in VI. But yeah, this is basically the thing that I knew that existed, and I found this thing. It's called HTML Go. And this is how I kind of like plan to, I'm not going to use this library, but I'm going to use kind of like this approach. This is how server components will look like. So this is kind of like static or like server components in React terms. And like on page refresh, you just can return new data or like new title and all of that stuff. I feel like people like you will write away to complex web frameworks. Yeah, so I'm continuing the work that I started in this talk that's called React Server Components Necessary Complexity, because people are like, oh, React Server Components are so complicated and so useless. So like, I'm trying to show that they're not that complicated and not that useless. And this is kind of like a step up on this thing. Yeah, HTMX. It's just like HTMX. Hello. Yeah, so I didn't write the API kind of like part of it, but yeah, the idea is that right now it returns both HTML and JSON, but then you will have like a separate Go HTMX and LW. Yeah, so if you want to see my HTMX stuff, I'm writing B2B SaaS kit, which has a bit of like examples of HTMX. So okay, where is it? Demo HTMX. And I have another branch where I just like wrote the same application in React and HTMX. And okay, it's 2%. Thank you for the rate. I have to go. So yeah, please follow me and subscribe on YouTube, and you will see the other shenanigans that I'm doing. With two. Okay, let me charge my laptop first then. Oh, wrong headphones. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to live. Okay, is it dead or not? Okay. I was afraid for a second. Okay. Okay, let's go to Twitch. Let's see who is the other Go streamer is.
It wasn't working.
Yeah. Not everyone that I follow except for Rob. On 1 HP. Yeah. Hopefully it's going to charge, but
KR_dev is now following.
Does anyone know like a good software streamers? Yeah, let's rate him.
Okay, again.
Okay. Dev has ideas who to rate. So let me check who that is. I think I saw her on Twitter. Does that sound okay? That wasn't Twitter. This was. I tweet there 4 a.m. Yeah, I'm following her. Yeah. Okay, that sounds like a better option. Okay, now let me figure out how I can do that. Am I still alive? Okay, it's even charging, so we're all good. So if I go to my stream manager, and if I rate someone, okay, /rate username. Yeah, I tried to do it through the. I never rate anyone because I don't have any viewers, so this is like the. This is the rare occasion where when I can do that. Okay, so again, I have to run. Thanks again. If you want to see kind of like part 2 and part 3, just subscribe to my YouTube, which is @parasocialfix. And yeah, I will be. I'm planning to do at least like two parts of this, and hopefully we can get to some kind of React server components, Go server components. Yeah, we will have to figure out the name. Okay, bye everyone.